It's that time again. Time to experience another epic superhero showdown on Grudge Match, the show where we look at comic characters from different worlds and ask that eternal question, what would happen if they were to throw down? Today's episode brings together two former mortals who have ascended to a level of practically godlike power. From Marvel, it's the chrome-plated cruiser of the spaceways, the Silver Surfer, and from DC, the powerhouse of pure energy, Captain Atom. Now, taking a look at Silver Surfer first, he was created in 1966, and he originally came from the planet of Zinla. He went by the name Norrin Rad. Now, the Zinlavians were physically much like humans in most respects, but they had a very advanced culture. And one day, the world devourer Galactus came to his home planet with designs on eating his planet and absorbing all the life energy, which would have killed everyone on it. So in an effort to spare his planet, he offered himself up sort of as a sacrifice to Galactus and offered to become his herald, who would seek out planets for Galactus to devour so Galactus wouldn't have to go looking for them himself. His plan was to only find planets that were rich in plant life that would be good for Galactus to devour, but no sentient life on them. When Galactus accepted his proposal, he took him and powered him up with what was known as the power cosmic. And that's what transformed him into the being of silver metallic substance who was incredibly, almost godlike powerful. The power cosmic allows Silver Surfer to have virtually limitless access to infinite levels of strength, invulnerability, energy projection and absorption, matter manipulation, energy manipulation, even time manipulation if he concentrates enough, be able to move at faster than light speed. He can fly through the center of a black hole and be completely unaffected by it. So he has just near omnipotent level powers of matter and energy manipulation and can do almost anything he wants with the access of that power cosmic. Captain Atom, created in 1987, originally went by the name Nathaniel Atom. Now, he was an Air Force captain in the Vietnam War era, and he ended up going to jail for a crime he didn't commit. So, in an effort to get a presidential pardon, he volunteered to be part of this project that was seeking to try to figure out an alien spaceship. So, he was tasked with the job of putting a nuclear bomb onto the spaceship to see how that would affect it. And when it went off, both the metal of the ship as well as the energy of the atomic bomb fused to Nathaniel's body, and that's what gave him his silvery color as well as his energy abilities. He also was displaced in time and thrown into the future, which brought him into modern day, and that's when he met up with all the modern day superheroes and joined the Justice League. Now, Captain Atom is powered up by a type of energy known as the quantum field, and his access to the near limitless energy of the quantum field give him a lot of the same powers that Silver Surfer shares, which is virtually limitless strength, invulnerability, ability to absorb and project and create different types of energy, matter manipulation, time displacement, faster than light travel by moving into the hyperspace realms where you can go faster than light. All the same basic kind of powers that make him almost a god in terms of being able to manipulate matter and energy. So it becomes a very difficult question to figure out who would win between these two. Because how can you determine who would win between two virtually unstoppable powerhouses with almost unlimited access to energy and matter manipulation? So we have to look at the very few critical differences between these two characters. Both of these characters have one specific thing in their respective corners that might give them a little edge over the other. In Silver Surfer's corner, one thing he has that Captain Atom doesn't share is that when Galactus powered him up with the power cosmic, it not only really enhanced his body and his physical abilities, but it also expanded his consciousness as well. Silver Surfer no longer thinks in mortal terms. He thinks on a higher plane of being. So that means he has a level of cosmic awareness. He can tell what's going on in different parts of the galaxy at any given time. He can think in terms of the future. He can look into the past. He can see different potential timelines and what will happen as a result of doing different things. Basically, his consciousness is no longer boiled down to a mortal consciousness. He can think almost at the same level of Galactus himself, of godlike entities. That's an ability that Captain Atom doesn't possess, as he still tends to limit himself and think in terms of being immortal, in terms of being human. Even though he's not, because Captain Atom, something that he has going for them, is he probably has superior matter and energy manipulation abilities to Silver Surfer, in that he has done greater feats with his ability to manipulate matter and energy. He has, in the past, created entire planets and universes just out of his energy and matter manipulation. He has created life before. That's on a real godlike scale, being able to actually create living beings out of nothing, out of thin air. That's something Silver Surfer's never done before. However, the drawback on Captain Atom on that is that it's not something he does often, and since he's done it, he's never repeated it. Because even though he does have the ability to move his consciousness to a higher plane and think more like a god than a mortal, it's not something he enjoys doing, and it's not something he's liable to repeat. So having examined the powers, backstories, and abilities of these two characters, it's time now to determine a winner. And that winner is going to be the Silver Surfer. The scion of Galactus is going to take the win in this grudge match. In this collision of near omnipotent powers, what it really comes down to is who is going to be able to mentally access more of their abilities and think of better ways in order to beat his opponent. This is not going to be the type of match where they can just throw energy at each other until one or the other falls. This is going to be a match where they're really going to be required to think outside the box and try to think of some different ways in order to overcome one another, because they are both nigh invulnerable, completely indestructible, with unending amounts of power and energy. So who's going to be able to think more in terms of a god, think more in terms of esoteric ways to defeat their opponents? And that's going to be the Silver Surfer. Because of his higher cognitive functions and his ability to think on a galactic, cosmic scale, complete with his cosmic awareness and ability to see into the future and different possible outcomes of the future, that's going to give him the ability to figure out a way to defeat Captain Atom long before Captain Atom can figure out a way to defeat Silver Surfer. Captain Atom will keep falling back on his tried and true method that he's always used in the past to defeat his enemies, which is going to be his energy manipulation, his matter manipulation, his strength and power. He's going to keep going at Silver Surfer the way a human would go at the Silver Surfer, because that's how Captain Atom still thinks of himself. Silver Surfer, on the other hand, is going to go at Captain Atom the way a cosmic being would approach fighting another cosmic being. That's higher levels of power and higher states of consciousness, and just a completely different way of fighting. And that's going to prove to be the more potent fighting style, and ultimately give Silver Surfer the win of this grudge match. So message me down below, let me know what you think of the outcome of this, as well as any suggestions for future episodes, and we'll see you next time on the next edition of Grudge Match.